Failing a lot means you are now doing a lot of work until you eventually succeed. You should think of failure as just a simple information, right? It just sort of happened. It's either a 1 or a 0, right? Do you think you were a gifted child? Have you ever been praised for your intelligence, for the fact that you're gifted by your parents? Oh, wow, you're so smart, you're so intelligent, after getting good grades on a test. That set you up for failure in the future. Gifted kids struggle with the issue that when they were younger, everything seemed easier, and so they were getting better results. And they were praised for those results, not for the effort that they have put in. An experiment has been performed on children. There were 2 groups. They were given tests. Ones were praised for the results. Like, wow, you scored so high, you're so gifted, you're so talented. Wow, that was very easy for you, I see. And the other group of children was praised for the effort. Wow, it must have been very difficult, but I see you persisted through these exercises and you got a good score. Can you predict what the results of the tests were? The intelligent children had the results diminished in the future and were more likely to lie about their scores. The effort-praised children had their results improved over time and liked to work and challenge themselves. They were honest about their work and their results. Can you imagine why? Think about it. In the intelligent children, dopamine was released as a result of their praise. When they were praised, they were happier, and so they wanted more of that praise. Therefore, they did all they can to get the best possible praise. They wanted to appear smart and intelligent the way they did at the beginning. And effort-praised children, in them, dopamine was released in response to difficult exercises, in response to their persistence. When they were faced with a difficulty, they enjoyed that difficulty, and so they pushed themselves harder on more difficult exercises and more common and more often. So let's introduce 2 mindsets. One is the fixed mindset, the one you're probably familiar with, that what you've been given is what you're dealt. You have a given amount of intelligence, you have a given amount of talent, you're as good as you can be, and that's it. You're praised, people are praised for their intelligence because they are smart, and people who fail are shunned for something inherently wrong with them, for having less intelligence, less talent. This is probably what you're familiar with right now. You've probably seen it in action. You've probably seen many people praising others for their talent, in their success, for their intelligence. That's what mostly happens, most commonly. And let's introduce a new mindset called growth mindset. This is the official term. You can look up more research on it if you're interested. And the growth mindset is what we'll be rewiring you to think. It's not that common as fixed mindset, because people still believe intelligence is fixed. I mean, think about it. How often do you see people praising others for their effort in studying, or persistence in business, or in any other endeavor? That's far less common than just, wow, you're so smart, or you're so pretty. You don't say, You don't hear, wow, you've put a lot of effort into your looks. You don't hear, wow, you've put a lot of effort into being this good at, for example, mathematics or English or something else. So let's start with the basics that will rewire you into the growth mindset that you want to achieve. To feel motivated by difficulty, and be motivated and enjoy the things that you might now not enjoy and not like. Because this is a bit of a cheat code. Imagine that some people enjoy the difficulty, whereas you struggle and are demotivated by it. Doesn't that seem unfair? You might even be feeling angry or resentful that you were raised with a fixed mindset, but don't worry about it, it can all be changed. In fact, enjoy the effort and the process of changing your mindset, because that in itself is growth mindset. So that in itself is actually beneficial and good for you. So ask yourself these questions. Think of something you feel like you're bad at. Okay, for example, golf, right? Not many people play golf. So let's say you're bad at golf. Now, whenever you're bad at something, ask yourself this: why am I bad at this? Do I just have no golf talent? Or have I just simply not practiced golf? Have I just not put effort into that? Or whenever you're successful with something, let's say you've been consistent in gym, right? Why do you think you're good at building muscle? Is it because you're talented? Is it because of the genetics? Or is it because you go to the gym a few days every single week and you're just simply consistent? Same goes with like a skill. Let's say you're good at mathematics. Not sure if you are, just let's say. Are you good at mathematics because you just did a lot of mathematics exercises and you've been studying a lot, or you're just gifted. Think of all these moments you've been studying, or it might not be mathematics, it might be something else, but you've actually spent a lot of time on the subject. You see what I mean? It's not about you being talented or intelligent. It's about how much effort you put into a given subject. It's best for you to completely forget the concept of talent and intelligence. Just imagine like these concepts completely don't exist. It's beneficial in the long run for your growth mindset, because most people think that intelligence is fixed, and science disagrees. Just look it up. There are multiple papers that intelligence fluctuates over time by most commonly by around 10 IQ points. And there are ways to improve it, there are ways to lose it. If you don't use your intelligence, it passively drops. If you work on your intelligence, it increases. So it's completely natural, it's completely fluid. Just forget about the concept of intelligence completely. It's more practical that way. If you still don't understand, just gaslight yourself that it doesn't exist. If you don't believe me, if you don't understand what I mean, I made a whole video explaining how you can gaslight yourself for success, and it's actually great. It should be there in the corner of the video, and I will put it as well in the description and at the end of the video if you want to see it. I've mentioned a lot of other topics also about improving your mindset, so you might find it interesting. Also, forget about failure and success. What I'm saying is a bit controversial, but it's still better in the end as it helps with the growth mindset. You should think of failure as just a simple information, right? It just sort of happened. It's either a 1 or a 0, right? Have this stoic approach where you don't really obsess and stress over it. Fair, it's better to succeed, but just forget about it for some time, right? Until you cultivate your growth mindset. Forget about failure. Failure is a natural part to learning. If you fail a lot, that means you undertake a lot of endeavors. And what do you think the growth mindset child would think? They would think, okay, I did a lot of work. I failed, okay, but I did a lot of work, and that's very good. And failing a lot means you are now doing a lot of work until you eventually succeed. And then that means your brain has adapted, which is good. But also keep the stoic approach, forget about failure and success, and instead ask yourself the questions that I asked you earlier. Why did I fail so many times? Maybe because I didn't practice enough. Maybe because I was practicing, but that didn't just pile up yet. Forget about intelligence, it doesn't exist. Why did I succeed? That's because all the progress that I've been doing, all the work has been just piling up until it eventually leads to success. It's a 1. It's either 1 or 0. Cool. Also stoic approach, cool. You just got the information that you want. Focus on the fact that you've been doing a lot of work. Forget failure and success. I hope this video helps you completely fundamentally change your approach to life. I really hope. If you have any questions regarding it, write it in the comments below. Other people might also be interested in reading that. Subscribe to the channel for more motivation advice. This has been Hustler's Ethics.